Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire.
And tonight we're talking about the Outpost.
Season 2, Episode 6, Because She's Worth It.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna call her Rosaline or whatever.
Rosamund?
Rosamund, yeah. I know it was Roz or Rose or whatever.
Rosalind or
Yeah.
Rosamund? I think it's Rosamund.
I think it's Rosalind.
Oh, whatever.
And, I'm not gonna call her Rosalind because, as we found out in one of Garrett's pointless parts, she's not the princess.
She's the false queen.
So she actually is Gwen.
Yeah.
So she's Gwen.
Yeah.
Gwen all the way. But Gwen is still sexy and totally worth it. But I think when you say she's worth it, I think of Talon.
Yeah.
I don't think of Gwen. I think of Talon.
Yeah, I think I thought of Talon too. I didn't think of Gwen.
Yeah. But I mean that's what it was said for.
Yeah.
Because the Baron was talking to his mistress lady and
the aunt.
Yeah.
Of Janzo.
The aunt.
The counselor's sister.
Yeah.
Or whatever she is to the queen now.
Right. The royal purse. But she said, he's like, why should I travel? And it's she's like, because she's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I gotta admit, I'm
once
down.
he cleaned up his act, if
that story about his family is actually true and it's not just something made up that the woman told him to say,
mm-hmm.
And it's genuine, then I'm I feel for you.
Right? I mean, that doesn't erase bitch of a person you were before everything.
And I mean, but maybe he's trying to be better.
Well, he's trying to get better so that he can marry the queen. And
I know, but maybe eventually he will start to have a soft spot for her and actually love her.
I think eventually, I think this is actually the real him.
Yeah.
And the other person is a persona, is a mask.
It's
it's a front
facade
that he puts on. Because no one's ever told him no.
Yeah.
But the person we're seeing now, I think, is the real him.
Yeah, because because she's turned him down, he thinks of it, he considers it a challenge, and he wants to keep pursuing her because he finds her intriguing and he finds her interesting, and he likes that.
I mean, he stopped trying to pursue her, but now she's like, oh, you're cute.
Yeah.
And so,
well, he is. I mean,
yeah, but you can't tell someone like that they're cute,
because it'll go right to their head.
Right, and you could tell at the end it was going to his head.
Yeah.
Until she told him, "Make up with your cousin, bitch."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was oh my gosh, this being nice and a good person is actually working, and she's like, yeah, no.
I mean, I might not always like Gwen, but I like the way that she
is dealing with him.
Yeah, and the way that she stands up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
I might not like how she handles certain things, Talon, or how she handles things about their people or what's going on.
Yeah.
But her as a person, an independent, assertive person, I like that side of her.
Yeah. I think the only reason why she's treating Talon that way is because she is scared.
Yeah.
And, when you're scared and, things are going the way that they have been for her,
mm-hmm.
you tend to latch on to any amount of power you have.
True.
especially if you come from power or you've been granted power, you start holding on to it a lot tighter.
Yeah.
And the only amount of power she has, really, because the things she's doing is because she needs to do them for the place and the people to survive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not her power. She has no power. She's relying on the bar mother to do everything for her because she can't afford to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't have the power. Mommy has the power.
Yeah.
And so it's like the only power she really has is her friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And she's grasping onto Talon a little too tight. And like, yeah. I mean, I do understand that. Well, Talon's Lakiri killed people, so I fear for my people. This Lakiri has to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get that.
Right.
But, I do think that, Zed has maybe opened Talon's eyes a little bit as to the fact that, like he said, the Lakiri you summoned was solo for probably centuries.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one controlled that thing. And then it got summoned and then went on a rampage. What the hell did you expect?
Right.
But the past two Lakiri that you've had never went on a rampage because their partners wouldn't let them. They were basically pets at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, pets don't kill people unless that's how they're trained.
Right.
And even then, they usually only do it on command.
It's true.
So...
Because they're loyal to their master.
So either they only do it on command or when they're threatened.
Mm-hmm.
So... And I don't think a child could threaten something that massive.
Probably not.
So... But, yeah. I feel sad for Zed because, like you said, he's been with that Lakiri longer than Talon has been alive.
Yeah, and I feel bad that he had to send it back. Mm-hmm. Because it is loyal to him.
Yeah. And it shook its head. It was like, I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he had to make it go. I hope that, like, when they're able to call it back, that it accepts that it forgives him.
Yeah, I do too.
Because losing a partnership like that,
yeah,
it's hard on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I felt bad that because he was like, like shaking, like
he's like, and he's like,
yeah, and I'm like, no.
Right? It was so sad. So sad. So sad.
So stuff is coming out about Naya.
Yes! The traitor is being found out.
By the Baron of all people.
Right, but he did promise he would get to the bottom of it.
I know.
It was his duty to his queen.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's not even gonna have to ask you. You volunteered yourself. Like, that is so gentleman-like. You're a dick.
No, I mean, yeah. But he might change.
I know, I'm like...
He might be a good person.
Like I said, this is probably the real him.
Yeah.
It's just... He never
he
really...
just put on a facade because he could. He could do whatever he wanted because nobody said no to him.
Nobody could say no to him.
And he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. He surrounded himself with yes men, except for one person.
Mm-hmm.
Which has now put him in his damn place.
Yeah.
And
I think he likes that. I think he finds that sexy.
Okay, no, I was talking about the aunt.
The girl, Gwen.
I was talking about the aunt.
But I'm talking about Gwen.
Right. But when I said one person that could put him in his place.
The aunt.
Yeah.
But I mean, Gwen also put him in his place.
But it has... What I'm saying is that what I was talking about had nothing to do with Gwen.
Okay.
Because I said he surrounded himself with yes men, except for one person who could put him in his place. Which means everyone around him said yes, except for one person. Gwen's not around him.
Yeah. And
so that's why I was like, what the hell are you talking about, sexy? That old hag is ugly as shit.
My bad.
I was like, what are you into?
Well, if I'd known you were talking about that, I wouldn't have said that.
That just reminds me of the commercial.
Anyway.
Not what you think it is.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. She told him, like, look,
shove it.
Yeah.
I love how, like, a couple episodes ago, she was like, act your age.
Mm-hmm.
I say yes.
But I mean, but people like the like bad guy,
Yeah, but he wasn't a bad guy. He was a perv.
Yeah, he was.
He was like that guy at work who won't stop staring at you, makes you totally uncomfortable. And then one day grows a pair of balls and actually goes up and touches you on the ass and you slap him and then call HR on him.
Yeah.
Like, that's who he is.
Right.
He's the person that, like, always gets fired because of HR.
Mm-hmm. Except that didn't exist back then.
No.
Yeah,
but,
he is. I don't know. I just want to believe that, like, that is, his true self. And, like, he actually does truly like her and want to prove that he's a good person.
Right.
And do those things for her because he genuinely does care and he genuinely wants that to be his legacy and wants that to be part of his duty to his queen.
Right.
So, because I don't know. I like stuff like that. I like seeing, the person that is like this perverted bad guy become like a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to be with somebody,
Yeah. And I think that as he begins this friendship with Gwen, I think that he might just discover he doesn't actually like her like that.
Maybe.
I mean, all he sees right now is the power and that she's hot.
Right.
Like, she's a very sexy woman, and then she's powerful too.
Mm-hmm.
And if she has his babies, then they'll be powerful, and he'll be powerful by connection.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not all that it's about.
No.
And I think that, because he seems like a person who, when he talks about his family and his people, like what we got in this episode, he's very caring and kind, and he's a considerate person, and like he's an amazingly nice guy.
Yeah.
And it's like it's probably like he's going to notice that maybe she's not the one.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she is. But
I mean, at least this way, if she turns out to be the one for
they'll
him,
be friends first.
They'll be friends first, and he'll be more of the genuine person that he truly is.
He'll be there to help her through the Garrett betrayal.
Yeah. Because Garrett's job, or Garrett's purpose now, is to kidnap her. So...
Yeah, he's already No.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
that's why I stopped myself. I was like, wait, are we there yet?
No.
Okay.
What I was thinking when you were talking about the whole thing with the Baron was, like, because they're starting to, like, get to know each other and, like, become friends, and he's trying to be different and better. Like, with the whole Garrett thing, when he's supposed to come and kidnap Gwen, maybe he'll protectiveness will come out. Maybe he'll defend her, or maybe he'll try to protect her in some way because he knows about Garrett because she told him about him.
Right.
And so he knows how much he means to her.
And so he knows that even if he gets a weird feeling about him,
Mm-hmm.
she'll just fall right back in with him
and
trust him completely.
Right. Like Talon did.
Mm-hmm.
But
Talon didn't necessarily trust him completely. She
just
hugged him.
True. But anyway, he'll probably still try to, defend his honor to her, defend himself and be he'll want to protect her because he'll probably notice that Garrett's acting weird or different.
Well, he doesn't know different.
He doesn't. But if he does try to kidnap her, he might suspect something.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, I think he'll suspect something because Garrett's thought dead, and then he comes back perfectly healthy, not injured at all.
Yeah.
That's a huge red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone with any sense that's not head over heels for the guy would notice.
But I mean, wouldn't people, because of how long he was gone, and yeah, people would think he's dead, but when he does come back and he's perfectly healthy, wouldn't they come to the assumption that he was taking the time to recover?
Okay, a soldier comes back and says that Garrett was stabbed and probably dead. And it's been only, 20 days? If that. Dude doesn't heal like that without medicine.
True.
And assistance.
Yeah.
And a great deal of that.
So it is going to be very,
proper healers.
Suspicious because it's why the hell are you completely healthy?
Mm-hmm. You can't get that way wrapping yourself up and sitting by a fire.
No.
You wouldn't be able to hunt. You'd go hungry. So how did you survive?
Unless someone finds you and nurses you back to health.
Even then, he wouldn't be at the state that he's in.
Yeah,
if he was just found by...
He'd still have a wound.
Well, I mean, he probably does.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that for him to make such a quick recovery from a wound that would have been described to them, that we know he got, the only way to have recovered like that is to get proper help.
Yeah.
Which you can't find from some dumb farmer.
Right.
That's gonna come and assist you.
Unless you're saved by an Indian or a medicine man or woman who uses, natural medicine to help you.
What I'm saying is
that
in this world, no one can help him.
Yeah.
Only proper doctors, which would probably only be at the Capitol.
Yeah.
So, it's just...
I'm just glad that we're starting to, learn more about the situation with Naya,
Mm-hmm.
Not just the traitorous act that she committed.
Well, no, we knew that they had her family.
Yeah.
And that's why she did it.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed, her entire family.
Yeah.
I didn't, I was wondering, who exactly they have.
Yeah.
So that's, like you said, it's nice to get the confirmation. Yeah. I mean, I think we knew that she had a sister.
I think so.
I think I assumed that she would be a lot younger than what she's sounding to be. I don't know why. Maybe because Trader herself is she's not.
I'm not sure how
she's not
old
young,
she is.
but she's young.
Yeah, she's probably a teenager, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe a little older.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
But then to turn around and have another child is well, the way she was kind of describing her family unit, it seemed like she was the other sister was maybe 10 or 15. Like, she was younger.
Right.
And now it's seeming like she's between 15 and 20. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Get your continuity right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I still do think her and Chance are cute, but you know, ultimately he's probably still gonna get hurt. And you know, it was sweet when Talon kissed him on the cheek, but you know, she's not jealous. She's happy for him.
Yeah.
You know, and as long as he's happy, then she's happy because he's her friend and she cares about him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, like, I'm just for whoever like has chemistry. Like, honestly, like, I don't hardcore ship anyone really on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, oh, if that works and they look good together and it might potentially lead to something really good, then I'm for that. Like, potentially with the Baron and Gwen, but we don't know. So,
yeah.
All I know is that the mistress is right, that they would have beautiful children.
Yes, they so would. I love his complexion.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, like, I think that his tattoos add a lot. Mm-hmm. Because without them, something about picturing him without those tattoos make him not as sexy.
He's just very, like, got that, like, you know, ethnic mystery, like...
Yeah.
Ooh.
But without the tattoos, you know,
I know.
It's like, something about the tattoos make him look like...
I mean, freaking... I think Garrett is attractive, too, the actor.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't say no to the Baron.
Oh, I would not say no to Baron. Holy hell. I mean, you know, if he wasn't trying to be a lady killer.
Yeah, if he was being a pervert, I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Right?
But, you know, if he was like...
Or not even dating, you bring me lingerie, go to hell.
But if he was being charming like he was in this episode and at dinner and then the horse ride that they took,
mm-hmm.
like, I'd be like, okay, I could see something happening.
Right?
Like,
you play your cards right, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, eventually.
Yeah. And I think that's where Gwen is, too. Like, mm-hmm. She's like, you know, she's still kind of feeling it out. Like, she's still, you know, being defensive because she knows how he is, but she's also charmed by the way that he's acting.
Mm-hmm. But she knows that it's an act for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's impressed that he's willing to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that he didn't even drink the wine and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and that he's willing to, like, try to find the traitor and, you know.
Dude, within one day he's already found her. I'm loving that.
Yeah. Well, it was all because of the way she got flustered. I mean, if she hadn't reacted that way, he wouldn't have known.
And he wouldn't have suspected her.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just like everyone else, he was expecting it to be a guy.
Like, body language is, you know...
It's important when you're telling a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping the truth hidden. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just...
I mean, I liked the episode.
Yes.
I liked that that it wasn't focused solely on... Not solely, but that we didn't really get much Garrett. Because, honestly, we're done with all of that.
Yes. I love that the only Garrett in the entire episode that we got...
Was the end.
Was the intro, which is what we saw last week. Which I just rolled my eyes at and ignored. And then the end. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, like we discussed before we did this, we thought, we knew he was going to come in
the whole time I was like, watch. Because we're not seeing him for the rest of the episode, he's going to show up at the end.
Yes, I was expecting him at the end, just like you were. But I was completely ecstatic that we did not have to deal with this bullshit for any
Oh,
of the
yeah,
episode.
definitely. Like, I'm glad that it was focused on other aspects.
Mhm.
And, like, going more in detail with, like, the stuff with Naya and then, like, the Baron and Gwen and Talon and Zed and everything.
Yeah, and Janzo.
Yeah.
And we finally got to see Janzo starting his sun experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking took long enough.
About bloody time.
Right? And, like, I kind of expected, like I said, that when we saw Garrett, that he'd be on a hilltop.
Oh, yeah, like, I expected it to be, like, him in the outpost, like, in the middle of it, or, like, either looking over, like you said, and then, like, them panning over it and it being the outpost or something like that, and him being there, like, arriving there.
Right.
And then it would just end. But I did not expect what they did.
No.
I was like, when he stabbed her, I was like, oh, shit. Like, I was like, oh, shit.
Like, with my entire body, I did not do this out loud, but I was like, Zed, where the fuck are you?
Right?
Oh. Like, oh my god.
I mean, he's probably not that far away. But
no, and that squirrel had a hella bushy tail.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what
definitely.
the hell was up with that?
Then she missed it because she heard a sound.
Yeah.
But
she was distracted and released when she wasn't ready to.
And I was just like, I thought that she was gonna pull back, like if she thought that he was like gonna pull the dagger or whatever, like, you know, because sometimes people sense it,
right?
Like sense that like there's something behind them or they're trying to like stab them or kill them or whatever, and people pull back and start fighting.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was Garrett,
exactly.
So she did not suspect him to do that.
No.
Or expect him to do that.
Because, like, she expected him to be dead. So just seeing him alive, she didn't have time to process the fact that he was in perfect health and physical condition.
Yeah.
She was just like, holy crap, he's alive.
Right.
Fuck this shit. Put all my weapons down. This guy's alive.
Yeah.
And then, the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
But I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on where you stab them and how many times you stab them.
Right. He only stabbed her once.
And it was in the side.
In her side. Right. But going in that way, that's going into your organs.
Yeah.
If you go through the front or through the back, there's a chance you could miss.
True.
But that way, he legit punctured something.
Yeah.
Maybe more than one thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's obviously not gonna die.
No, I mean, she's the main character. The storyline is...
I mean, Garrett didn't die, so Talon's not gonna die either.
Well, they can't kill her off. She's the title character.
She is.
Oh, well, not really the title character, because it's called the Outpost.
But she's who it revolves around.
Yeah.
And the reason she's there and everything.
Mm-hmm. The reason it's called the Outpost is because she went to the Outpost. If she didn't go to the Outpost, it wouldn't be called the Outpost.
No. So, I mean, obviously she will be injured and will need to be, you know, brought back to health.
Mm-hmm. See, what I picture happening is maybe Zed comes up on them, and maybe he doesn't kill him because Talon starts yelling at him not to kill him. So he maybe, like, knocks him out. And then drapes him over the horse, maybe tied his hands around his back and his ankles together. And then hoists Talon up onto the horse and have her, like, leaning over the horse.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, you know, they take the horse back.
Yeah.
Or maybe he ties Garrett up on the side of the road to a tree. In a manner that maybe he can or can't get loose. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thinks he did it so he can't get loose, and then Garrett gets loose.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's riding with Talon across his lap to the Outpost on Garrett's horse.
Yeah. Well, the description for next week said, Zed waits for Talon after a mysterious disappearance.
Yeah.
Tobin faces his despised cousin, while Gwyn makes Tobin an offer he can't refuse.
Oh.
A surprise visitor to the outpost interrupts a royal ceremony.
That hurts my soul. She moved a little too fast with him. A royal ceremony? Come on. It has to be a wedding.
She makes him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. It has the royal ceremony has to be a wedding.
And the one after that, episode 8, is called A Crown for the Queen. The next week's episode is called Where You Go, People Die. The one after that is A Crown for the Queen. And it says, Talon and Zed pursue a cold-blooded killer in a bold rescue attempt. Gwyn tasks Janzo with finding a cure for the plaguelings, as well as a delusional patient. Gwyn and Garrett are reunited.
What the fuck?
I really hate that we don't get promos.
Yeah.
Because all we have to go off of is descriptions. And I know that it's summer, and I know that, like, they have a bunch of other things that they're showing and all that, but I feel like they could still show a 30-second promo when it's ending. Like, I don't understand why they can't do that. Because literally, we don't have anything to go off of into the next week, except for a description of the next episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we have to, you know, speculate about what we think is going to happen.
That part's fun. But then it's also fun to go, oh my gosh, in the promo, did you see that? That means this might happen.
Right. But I mean, promos can also be misleading.
Yeah.
And the way that they make promos look, sometimes they're more dramatic than what actually occurs. Yes. So, you know, but it's still nice to have a visual of it. So.
Yep.
But obviously Talon is okay by what after next week. Mm-hmm. Because her and Zed are out trying to make a rescue attempt.
And she gets to somewhere and gets help, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Zed finds her and heals her himself, because we don't know, like, we don't know what he knows, you know?
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
He seems very smart, and he's definitely, like, a wise
man. And he definitely
man.
has to be resourceful because of the way that he's lived, you know, and his survival and everything.
Obviously, he can't hunt because
he's probably learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
So he might be able to help her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then she'll be indebted to him because he'll save her life.
I don't think he'll see it that way.
Probably not.
I mean, he doesn't really seem like the person that, like, you owe a life debt, you know?
No, but I mean, she might still, you know, that might help her gain his trust.
You mean might help him gain her trust?
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah,
I mean, there is a lot of things that happen, that, like, a lot of twists and a lot of things we don't expect to happen in ways that we thought they would on this show. So, I mean, even though those descriptions say certain things, there could still be some twists that we don't expect.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what this offer that he can't refuse is that she makes him.
Right.
Like, maybe she agrees to marry him if he does something.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it... unless, like... Because it says that there's a royal... Ceremony. I mean, that doesn't have to be a wedding. That could be appointing him to a state of prominence higher than Baron.
Or it could be, like, doing something with the mistress. Like, actually making her be, you know... Because, I mean, is she just... kind of filling in, or is she actually her advisor?
She's actually her... I mean, She is the advisor because
Okay.
she doesn't have anyone working the streets right now.
Okay.
You know, and even if Garrett was there, he's not necessarily the best for working the streets.
No.
Even before he was mind-fucked. Like,
yeah.
It's...
So it could be something else, but, I mean, obviously, it probably would be a wedding.
That's the biggest thing, but, I mean, that, like I said, that is moving too fast, and
True.
I don't know if Gwen has that in her.
Yeah.
Maybe she offered him a position in her court.
Maybe.
And that would mean spending more time with her, which would mean, you know, maybe an eventual wedding.
Right. Like, maybe they'll end the season with that.
Not with a wedding, maybe with a proposal.
Maybe. If it gets another season. Because we didn't know last time.
Yeah.
You know, right away.
Yeah.
So. It probably will.
Yeah. This season is a lot better than last season.
Yeah.
So.
And if it got renewed after the first season, it probably will get renewed after this season.
Right. Because if people stuck around until the end of last season, then good for them.
Yeah.
And, like, that means that you were invested in the storyline.
Yeah.
So you obviously came back for more.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't really have much else to say.
My back hurts. Yeah, neither do I. So I guess that's all. So
until next time,
keep fighting for what you believe in.